So what's the value of entitlement? What's the power of entitlement? Why aren't any of you doing entitlement? Can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah.
I love stories because they put DNA, they put the thought process in place. So I found a little house on 21st South, roughly in Salt Lake City, just east of State Street. Great location. It was abandoned, had weeds taller than me in the yard, and I knocked some doors in the neighborhood, and this was back probably 20 something years ago. And this was a great little house. I was gonna buy it and fix it up and sell it for a profit. So I had some subcontractors I was working with, so I bought the house. Don't hold me to numbers, I think I paid $72,000 for it. It's been a minute. Unbelievable price, right? $72,000 for it, and the owner had died. His kids lived in Ohio, and no one ever answered the door because no one lived there. So you always ask the neighbors, right? You don't knock on the door, you ask the neighbors. So got a hold of this guy. Well, I got all my subcontractors together, and one of the things that we do here, this is something that's unique for you, and I need you to write this down, is anytime you start a project, you market it, you begin marketing it immediately as what it is finished. What does that mean? You market it as what it is finished. This is how I started making the first few entitlement sales. I'd find a piece of land, close on it, and I'd put it up for sale as a finished apartment complex. And that was a great way for me to raise capital, because people come in and say, I want to buy it. And I'd say, well, you want to buy it for retail, or you want to buy it for wholesale? Anybody want to learn how to raise some capital?
Yes.
I'm about to teach you, listen very carefully. So I buy a piece of land. It's going to take me 6 to 8 months to do entitlements. Terry's going to take 2 to 3, take a month or two to do the CDs, and I'm going to have to get my building permits, then I'm going to have to get financing, and I could be a year and a half from starting construction. If everything goes well, might be sooner, might be later, depending on the marketplace. So I got all this time to do what? So I'm like, how many different ways can I raise capital? Well, I've underwritten the asset because Neil sold me the property, and he's one of my partners. I've got the numbers. So I listed it as a $28.6 million profit or property coming soon. And I put a phrase in there that changed my life in the remarks. It says, buy now at a discount or pay full price later, your choice. And what does buy now at a discount mean? So there's no building there. I start getting phone calls and people say, what does buy now as a discount mean? How do you buy now at a discount? Who can tell me how you buy now at a discount? But man, if the guy's gonna put on a $28.5 million building, he's gonna put 7 or 8 million down. I would say what? Well, why don't you put 7 or 8 million down and I'll give you $6 million discount. This $28.6 million asset, I'll sell it to you for $21.6 million. But put the money down now. Pre-deploy the capital. Put it down up front. So wait a second, you mean I'm gonna put 7 million down now and you're gonna come sell it to me at 21.6 later? Does that work? Does the math work? Wasn't I gonna pay him 80 cents on the dollar for his $8 million? Does his $8 million that he puts down up front preload my construction loan? Yes. I don't have construction, I qualify for the construction loan. I have a cash partner. I have an end buyer. I actually have a purchase contract for the lender to see. Is that what I just said? I can't hear you.
Yes.
So I learned this all from a sheetrocker. Can I tell you the story from the sheetrocker?
Yes.
So back to this little house in Salt Lake, I got all my subs together and I said, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's the plan. Here's the bid. I've got a bid. You guys know each of your parts. Here's when I'm scheduling you to come in and get through this house. We can get through it quickly. And I was always sharing information. And I told these guys, hey, I'm in it at this amount, 72K. I'm in it 28,000 for the remodel and I'm selling it for 140, right? And sure enough, they come to the first meeting and there's a for sale sign outside with flyers of a remodeled house that's not remodeled yet for sale. Now, can you do that? Hey, you just put coming soon on top of it. Or work in progress, or hurry to pick your colors. One of my favorites, hurry to pick your colors. So the sheetrocker, he walks into my meeting with one of my flyers. And he's like, I don't think you should put this house up for sale. And I said, why not? He goes, because I just want to buy it. And I said, dude, we're fixing up the house and we're selling it. Just stay in your lane, dude. Come on, focus on your job. So we have the meeting, we get started on the work. He calls me a week later and he's like, Mike, I want to buy the house from you. Well, and I didn't want to sell it to him and I didn't want to hear his number because of what? I told him how much I bought it for. So I'm just assuming he's going to think he's going to get a deal like that. Well, He pressured me over the next couple of weeks a lot to purchase it, and I said, you know what, whatever dude, write me an offer. So he writes me an offer for $110,000 and wants to do all the work. He took the $140,000, subtracted out the costs, created enough of a profit for himself, was going to do all the labor himself, got rid of some of the other subcontractors, and I had a higher net selling him that house at 110 than I would have sold the net that I would have had selling it at 140. Why? Sales agents, what else? He did a lot of the work. I didn't have to pay a lot of the subcontractors. I ended up making $28,000 on that house and I hadn't planned on it. So he taught me a valuable lesson. Everything you have should be for sale 100% of the time. And it's a great capital raising technique. Just like the apartment complex I just mentioned, right? Right? Yeah, so there's a lot going on here. So entitlement, one of the things we'll write in our contract, I don't know if we'll get to this at this camp, one of the things we write in our contract is that the seller or the buyer has the right to market this property in any way they see fit after the due diligence deadline. So as soon as my earnest money goes hard, this thing goes, whatever I'm buying goes for sale everywhere there is for it to go to sell.